Well, hello, everybody, or anybody who might join us today. Happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? I think it is Tuesday. Hope you're all doing good. I hope this stream is coming through. This app I use sometimes can be confusing, but that's all right. Um, I know some of you, very few of you, asked where I've been, what's happening. Perfect. Hi, Paul. Now I know we're live. Um, I was asked if I'm taking a break from it all. No, I wasn't actually, guys. I was not taking a break from anything. Well, I was taking a break from Facebook, uh, but I was not taking a break. I've been covering lots of different things, and I've been mainly on um, with Brennan House, uh, doing coverage of Iran nuclear deal, which no one else is covering. Who wants to cover that, right? Thank you, Catherine. Um, Howdy, Rick. How's it going in Texas? I hope things are getting a little bit less scary from what I've heard, but um, I will ask kindly if you could please do share this live feed. But anyhow, after being extremely busy with lots of coverage, as I said, I was mainly covering the Iran nuclear deal, which I will give you, I guess, recap of it. But I decided it is time to come and say hi to all of you. Hey, Paul. I know I've been a stranger on Facebook mainly. Well, I've been posting, but not necessarily doing live feed. Anyhow, I am back today. I can't guarantee I will do these more often, at least for a while, because I'm still working on a few projects. But let me start here. Delaware, hey Regina. Uh, Let me start here. I've been asked. I was specifically asked by a few very good Canadian friends why I'm not saying anything about the Freedom Convoy. As I said, I've been saying things. It's just not been on Facebook directly. Um, so let's start there. Freedom Convoy. Good for everyone involved. They should be very proud that they are taking a stand. I am very happy that they are sticking with peaceful, um, let's say, a strike. I don't have a better word for it right now, but I will say this. Hey Benjamin, how's it going in Indiana? I will say this. There is there is so much conflict for me personally. Um, there are people who are defending the Freedom Convoy, and then there are people who obviously hate it and are smearing it. Um, um, Colin, you got me. Hello, Christopher. I'm sorry. Some of these comments get me. Um, of course, they're trying to smear it. Of course, they're trying to infiltrate it. But I'll say this. I was informed yesterday that now at this point, the government of, let's call them a regime too, the regime that's running Canada has announced that they have given authority to banks to go ahead and close down or freeze assets of personal bank accounts of those who are involved with Freedom Convoy. So I'm going to address that. Um, and here's how I'm going to address it. If you're on YouTube, I titled this video "A Friendly Reminder." Years ago, and that's probably 4 years ago or so, or maybe more, whenever Trudeau was elected or selected or whatever the case might be, I posted and said my condolences to my friends in Canada. And I was actually attacked by many that, oh, this is Trudeau, this is, his father, blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. But when I did say the condolences, because I could see today, just like when Obama talked, I could see today. Not because I'm some fortune teller, no, because I'm very aware of the history of my motherland. And I have said this many times that history is repeating itself in a different place. Now, when you're dealing with a government, for lack of a better term, when you're dealing with a regime that bows to tyranny, not because they have any understanding of it, no, because they have no understanding of their position. Someone like Trudeau, someone like Biden, they didn't take an oath because they cared for the oath. They took an oath because they cared for the power and the money and the position. So they all have a price. Now, Trudeau is a cheap man, just so you know. I mean, if you didn't know, he's a cheap man. He sold very quickly with the Islam and the Muslims and the Iranian regime. And now he's selling his people. Clearly, I will go as far as saying to China, the Communist Party, or CCP is what we call it apparently. Now, I want to say this. Any bank in Canada or any other country, any bank who is willing to take advantage of this authority they've been given, take advantage of this power, and they start freezing people's accounts, I'm going to ask anyone, if you're working with those banks, go ahead and boycott them. Go ahead and close your own accounts, even if you're not involved with the Freedom Convoy one way or another. If they're not coming after your bank account, do close them. With what the truckers are doing, and again, at this point, it isn't just the truckers, it's everyone who's stepping in other shapes and forms. If they are willing to sacrifice, we all know these people aren't getting their paychecks right now. They are probably struggling to make their bills. GoFundMe went after them. Funny enough, someone messaged me asking, can you believe GoFundMe did this? I'm like, yeah, hello. In 2018, GoFundMe banned me because I was raising money for my anti-Sharia tour. So yeah, GoFundMe has been a sellout for a long time. But my point is, they are sacrificing a lot. So it's time for us to support them in our own way. I'm not in Canada. If I was, trust me, I would close my bank account if I was doing any business with any of the banks who are doing it. I am not in America. For those of you who may not be aware, but Mike Lindell's bank in Minnesota, they are trying to force him to close all his bank accounts before they put him in the, as he called it, naughty list, and close all of his bank accounts, including the MyPillow Corporation and FrankenSpeech and all of that. The first question I had was which bank, because if it was a bank that I'm banking with, I would be gone immediately. So let's extend this call to action or request of mine. Let's stand behind those who started to show when there's a will, there's a way, and boycott those banks that are going to go after anyone. Who's just standing up for their freedom. And by the way, it's just complete side note. I do love the channels, the reporters who are reporting that truckers are on a strike because they're asking for a raise. I saw that report. It was like, wow, at this point, it's amazing that anybody would actually buy into that lie. But that was just a funny thought I had. So here's where I'm at with. I do appreciate everybody who I know you've been sending me so many questions, so many, what do you think of these and that? So I'll try to cover as many of them as I can before I have to run, which is about half an hour. I'm going to try to get my glasses on so I can read your longer comments because they kind of blur into each other at this age. Yeah, I'm getting there. So yes, my thoughts and prayers are with everyone involved, including truckers, their families, anybody in any shape or form who's getting behind the Freedom Convoy. My thoughts and prayers are with you. I am proud of you. I don't know how to drive a truck. If I did, I would get a truck and join you. Um, Even though I've been told I could easily drive a truck, apparently I'm good at it. But do your part. Do not let the media fade them away. Do not let banks destroy them. That's the thing. Unfortunately, we're at a point where, well, shit is hitting the fan. So time to clean up. Paul, what is it? Annie, this is their plan all along to get to a digital currency to take control of us all. Mark my words. I will not disagree with you, Paul, but I would say one of the reason they have a plan is because we don't have one. I hope that makes sense. I've recently covering some stuff outside of Facebook. I never thought one day I would actually step out of Facebook and extend my work elsewhere. But doing what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks, if you've been following them outside of Facebook, I have come to realize the main reason we keep saying this has been their plan. It's that we don't have a plan. Like seriously, we don't have a plan. We don't have leaders. We don't have organization. We don't have unity. We don't have a plan. We have been so busy being on the defense that we're still on the defense, and it kind of sort of it looks like it's not going to work out. So that's why I said it's time to basically, you hear a bank that's messing with a freedom fighter, walk away from them. Walk away from them. They can't hold you there. And trust me, it does do damage if enough people would walk away. Um, Catherine says, when one door closes, another one opens. That is true, Catherine. But considering how many fronts were under attack from, it could sometimes get a little hard to see the open doors. So that's why I go back to I wish we had good leaders to lead us so we could see the doors that are opening rather than trying to dig holes in the wall. That's how I feel sometimes. I feel like those of us who still care, those of us who still try to do something, we just it's such a chaos on our end, on our side, that we are like trying to dig a hole into the wall to find ways. That's why I take it back to we need leaders, we need organization, we need better unity. Let's call it. We need to learn to put aside our little, small, tiny, irrelevant differences and work together. But I'm pretty sure that is so not going to happen. But SJ is asking what banks are involved in this. We need a list. SJ, unfortunately, I don't have that information. As I said, I'm not in Canada. If anyone from Canada is here with us on this live feed, can you, I don't know, email me a list that you have? I'll post it on my page and on my website. We need our Canadians to provide that information, please. So if you know anyone who has the list of those banks, I agree with SJ. We need the list so we can update that list and we can tell people where they need when and where they need to walk away from. Aiden is asking, have you followed the trial of Lisa Smith in Ireland? Lisa Smith was a member of Irish Army and alleged member of ISIS in Syria. I have not, but I would greatly appreciate it if you could send me some links and information, and I'll make sure to get educated on Lisa Smith, because unfortunately, as I said, I've been mainly concentrating on Iran nuclear deal, which I will give you the updates in a second, and then the Freedom Convoy and Biden and Ilhan Omar's little tiny fights. So, okay. So here, I'm going to put this on the screen. Nancy is telling us that most banks are involved, but TD Bank, I am so not surprised TD Bank is at the top of the list. You are very welcome, DJ. That is absolutely what I'm here for. Okay, let me scan. See if I have any. Um, I'm sorry, I'm scanning through comments to see if there are any questions. That is a good question. So, Lane, I go back to I have come to realize that before we can overthrow anything and bring anything back, first we need to come to realize our flaws. Um, I'm going to give the credit to a series of movies and TV shows or documentaries I've been watching. See, if we would look at ourselves as a military, as a army of people, when the generals can't even get along or agree to a plan or a decision or a strategy, there is no winning. There's no. It's nothing but losing. It's not even losing. It's scattered chaos move of where we're gonna accidentally kill our own fellow soldiers. So the first step, I strongly believe, and just putting it out there, I'm not in no shape or form am I saying I should be one of the leaders. That is so not what I'm saying. Before anybody gets confused on what I'm saying, we need to find good leaders, leaders who are not out there for the wrong reasons, and we need to start unite under a leadership. And no, I'm not talking about electing or finding ways to convince President Trump to run again. No. Um, this this situation, the situation we're facing, um, isn't about any politician who's a good politician who can save us. If you go back to Glazov Gang YouTube channel in 2016, about a week or two after President Trump was elected, I did a video and I literally begged everyone, I'm like, do not put down your swords. This isn't over yet. This isn't something one man can fix. We gotta keep doing what we're doing, but then it didn't happen. Majority of conservative in America just figured, oh, comes our savior, which on its own, I shall say that we're facing punishment for that part on its own. But we need we the people. I know, even though I took a break, but this is exactly what I say every single time I show up on camera. We the people, we the people. We need leaders. We need to do what we're good at instead of trying to be a know-it-all and being an expert on all aspects. We need to find experts on each angle, each front, and then let them lead. Now, it doesn't mean we have to necessarily blindly follow their plan, but at least leaders are good at making a plan. As I said, we are way too scattered. Nobody's cooperating with anybody, nobody's working with anybody. It's a mess. It's a mess. So that would be my answer. The only way to even consider possibly making the right move, I mean, remind you, we have political prisoners in the United States of America. How much more real does it have to get for people to understand America isn't the America we know? And that is what they always wanted. Remember, I'll refer you to Dr. Jamie Glasow's book, I believe from 2008 or 9, United in Hate. Read the book if you haven't. United in Hate. Um, so yeah, we have political prisoners in this country, and Rose is saying we need constitutional attorneys to fight for it. We do have constitutional attorneys who are out there fighting, but again, if you don't have leaders who are putting a plan together and soldiers who are going to execute the plan, lawyers, what are they going to fight for? What? I know many people personally in my personal life who have literally given in and bowed to a lot of mandates because they don't want to lose their job, they don't want to lose their home, they don't want to lose blah blah yada 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 yada. And then when I tell them like, hey, I do know this constitutional lawyer who's going to fight for you, it's like, are you kidding me? You know how many months I have to go without a paycheck until I win the case? What is a constitutional lawyer to do when nobody's willing to sacrifice or compromise a moment, a day, a week? I guess the second thing is, while waiting or while looking to find leaders who are willing to unite us, we should probably put out some survivor classes for some people who don't know how to survive without a month of paycheck. Yeah. Um, I'm sorry. I read the first line and then I blurred. Are you encouraged by the large number of Muslims converting to Christianity? Is it or could it be a game changer? Am I encouraged as a human, as a Christian? Absolutely. Am I encouraged as an American facing tyranny and corruption? No. Majority of this country is Christian and we ain't doing anything about it. So, sorry. Just an honest opinion. Yeah, remember the 1.5 quote unquote supposedly billion Muslims aren't attacking us. The handful of them who were trained and handpicked by their leaders are the one attacking us. So Muslims converting to Christianity isn't the solution or isn't going to be a game changer as far as our problem inside America is. What is my hair doing? Sorry, is concerned. And by the way, most of the conversion is taking place in Middle East. Remember, even though a huge number of Muslims are converting to Christianity, at least I know in Iran, they're not coming out publicly being Christians. They are going to their underground churches and hiding their Bibles and read it when they get a chance. Now, if they were about to come out and, overthrow the regime in Iran in name of freedom of religion, sure, that would have been a game changer, but that's not going to happen. Remember, in Iran, the moment you come out and say you're an ex-Muslim, you're hung. And I'm not judging them, please understand that. I'm just saying it's encouraging, like, in a spiritual level, faith level, a human level, as a fellow Christian, yes. But as far as an activist, no. As I said, the only thing that would be a game changer is if enough Americans stood up and said enough is enough. And again, I was actually discussing the Freedom Convoy with a friend of mine, and I said it is amazing that Canadians are doing what they're doing, knowing they don't have half of our freedom. But we backed down the moment they put this January 6 prisoners, the political prisoners in prison, we back down. Right? I mean, seriously, let me ask you something. When was the last time somebody did anything about that? Within the Declaration of Human Rights and then within the Constitution of our country, nobody should be arrested or detained or prosecuted based on their political beliefs. But it's been more than a year, and we haven't done anything about that scenario. We have backed down. We're sitting back, chilling because we don't want to end up in that prison, right? So yes, I'll go back to enough Americans. Apparently, Americans aren't fed up yet. Apparently, Americans are still kind of sort of thinking, this shelter, this bubble. I just moved my hand. I should have done that. Sorry. It hasn't been burst yet, at least not enough. And as I said, sadly, on our side, I'm personally so frustrated. That's why I took a break from Facebook. Because let's be honest, this video is going to go as far as what, maybe 100, 150 people, and then it's going to die and moving on to next um, video or whatever it is. But one of the reasons I took a break was I got sick and tired of watching conservative big name journalists covering absolutely nothing. Nothing. All day long, what they do is just bash the left. Now, tell me, how is that different from what the left is doing? No, seriously. Tell me the last time one of your big figures out there had a call to action or a petition or something useful, except sitting there and bashing the left. But then that's that. The drama seemed to be more interesting to majority of people in America than reality of we have got to do something about this. So they enjoy. Absolutely my pleasure, Nancy. So as long as I'll refer to them as big names because that's what they refer to themselves. As long as the big names out there are the leaders, they're just leading us into more and more drama sitcom episodes and collecting your dollar behind their paid wall of programming, right? Because that's the thing. I said that. I made this comment on one of the strong voices out there, and I said that we try that sentence again. The write-up on the post was, everyone must read this. And then when you clicked on it, it was subscribe. So I made a comment as, if you think this is something everyone must read, don't you think you should make it available for everyone? Because I do that all day long. All day long. If you would go to frankaspeech.com and look my name up, you would realize that for last 6 weeks, I have been the only one covering the Iran nuclear deal and what is going on with it. And on that note, as of right now, I'm still the only one until one of the big names sees this video and then shove it down and go do their own, which is another thing they do. I am the only one who has actually covered the fact that Islamic Republic of Iran's Hezbollah, IRGC, has put out an official bounty on President Trump on their social media. And guess what? I didn't tell people to pay to watch that video. It is available for free on Frank Speech. Go watch. Yes. Yes, part of the negotiation of Iran nuclear deal. Let's go there for a second. So far, we have given them money. We have unfroze their assets. We waived the sanction of China and Russia being able to do work at Iran nuclear sites. And part of their request was that Biden regime shall arrest and execute President Trump for killing Soleimani. Remember Soleimani? Considering Biden regime, they might be greedy and stupid, but they're not that stupid. So they decided to just say, how about this? We won't get him and execute him, but you guys go put a bounty on him. And we make sure Facebook and Twitter doesn't take it down. If you think I'm kidding, I'm not. It's just easier for me to talk about stuff like this in a sarcastic tone. I'm dead serious. As I said, go to Frank's Speech, look up Annie Cyrus. A video will come up that there's a bounty, and there are proof on that video. The screenshots and everything is there. IRGC has put a bounty on President Trump and his family. And funny enough, I have earned myself a new bounty for exposing the bounty that was put on President Trump. As I said, except Brennan House on Frank's Speech, no one else called me to ask if I would like to use their big millions of follower platform to inform my fellow Americans that IRGC is hunting down our president while the Biden regime is making a deal with them. Now, you tell me how all of these heroes that you're subscribed to and you donate to are in any shape or form on our side or somehow brave, because when it comes to real reporting, when it comes to going up against IRGC and Hezbollah, well, they haven't shown any interest as far as I know. I'm gonna leave this on the screen. So, yes, that's where I'm at. I am covering what matters. And I'm just doing it where I can. I won't even ask anyone on this Facebook page or YouTube page to do anything special anymore. I have come to realize it will happen the way it's supposed to happen, which is the wrong voices of conservative movement will drag the conservative people down to mud. And then, just then, is when the good people of America will come to realize that planning is important, leadership is important, but most of all, bravery and honesty is important. A leader, let me go there. President Trump was a great leader, not because he knows much politics. He doesn't. Let's be honest, he's not a politician. No, he is a good leader, and he made a huge dramatic change for our country because he didn't change his narrative for a bigger paycheck. He didn't say anybody who wants to know about my plan to change the economy in this country is going to have to subscribe to my $30 a month wall before getting access to my plans. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my new mission is to remind everybody that it's one thing to ask for support. There's another thing to hide your report, your investigation, your exclusive interview with President Trump behind a paid wall to force people to pay you. And then you claim that you're here to fight for our freedom. I know thousands and hundreds of thousands of people are being fooled by it, but apparently I'm not one of them. Since I remember, and I'm not that young, I'm not that old either, but since from time I remember, investigative journalism wasn't about putting your stuff behind technology provided paid wall. Investigative journalism was about exposing the truth, putting your neck out there, providing the evidence. And then if your audience decides what you're doing is worth their support, they will put their support behind you. But hey, technology has its downsides, doesn't it? In the hand of wrong people, technology can definitely be a problem. But that is actually one of the reasons I am not as active on Facebook any longer, because there's no point. There's absolutely no point. As I said, I'll do live feeds here and there, but my content is still absolutely free, available on my website. As I said, also on FrancoSpeech, I'm heavily active there. Okay, Colin, I accept that. Edward, I would say I do like what, actually, you know what? Let me put your plan on so everybody can see. I do need to run here in about 10 minutes, but let me just put this in there too, since I did what I did. Christian plan. Spread the gospel, love your neighbor, includes protect your neighbor. This country has ignored the mistreatment of others so long, God is losing favor with our country. Okay? I will not disagree with what you're saying. But I will say, this plan by itself is not going to do the job. Now, 10 years ago, it would. Today we're at a point where God has been removed from our schools and Muhammad and Allah have been placed. Today we're at a point that our neighbors that we might possibly think of protecting could be the, I don't know, Boston Marathon bombers or Florida gay club shooter or hijackers of September 11. I mean, they were all somebody's neighbor, weren't they? Seriously, weren't they? No. I'm going to make a tweak to your plan if you don't mind, and I will say, spread the gospel. Love your neighbor. And investigate your neighbor. Absolutely don't trust your neighbor until you have enough proof to trust them. Then, instead of protecting them, come up with a plan together to protect your neighborhood. I kind of like that plan better. But, as I said, the neighbor situation is the least of our problem. I don't know if any of you caught that, but I'm just going to quickly repeat it. We are closing, we being Islamic Republic of Iran and Biden administration are on closing moments of the deal. They are coming to an agreement. This has been an indirect negotiation. What does that mean? Our representatives were never in the room. We were in the hallway. They sent messengers. We have given more than we should. We have lifted more than we should of their sanctions. And now they are coming officially. They have IRGC, Twitter. If you don't believe my word, go look it up for yourself. If you do, go to FrankenSpeech, watch my video. IRGC has put a direct hit on our 45th president and his family, and Hezbollah has put a direct hit on all American people. Yes, the promise they have given is we guarantee that if President Trump is not executed for his crime of murdering our hero, Soleimani, you pardon me, allergy seasons, I guess. The hand of revenge will come out of all Mohammedans' sleeves, and the revenge will come to your doors. I hope that's clear enough explanation for anybody who thinks, yay, we're making a deal with Iran again, yay, that and not yada, whatever. Yes, a guarantee from the Islamic regime is as good as it gets. Zelda, hi, darling, and I appreciate your prayers for my safety needs. I do need lots of prayers. We all do. Thank you, Colin. I don't actually think I'm alone, but I do think my voice ain't going nowhere. It isn't, which is okay. Doesn't mean I'll stop doing what I do. But I just figured I have already done what I could, as I said, through FrankenSpeech to get the message to President Trump himself. But I figured you all should know that none of the awesome conservative channels out there cared. Forget about having me on. Just put that information out there. They have not cared, except, as I said, FrankenSpeech. That's where I was given a platform to speak, talk about this, and they put my B-rolls up and showed all the proof. So let's make sure who we're supporting. Let's make sure where we're putting our money, our thoughts, our prayers, our support, our time is the right place. Because it seems like the division and the infiltration in our side is definitely not as small as we thought it would be. I do need to conclude here, but I do want to say one last thing before I go. And that is, I will make sure to make announcements, but within next week or so, I will be doing a live stream on all my channels. I will have a special guest with me, Claire Lopez, former CIA agent, um, a very, very, very good friend of mine, and she will be on with me, and we will be discussing Islamic Republic of Iran regime's terror groups and terrorists active inside the United States of America. So if you're interested, I guess to stay tuned and make sure to spread. As I said, I will make the announcement by end of this week, but that is going to happen. Hopefully you all tune in and get that out and help us spread the message. Run, you all stay safe, stay vigilant, do what you can. And again, to all those involved with Freedom Convoy, stay strong, hold the line. We are praying for you, and we're doing what we can on our end. But I personally am grateful for your strength and your wisdom and your bravery. So may Lord be with you as you do the heavy lifting, and we will be behind you. Okay, guys.